Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Uh, as long as you know about new moms, there is no perfect time for doing anything. So now during our walking, I'm filming this video. So today I want to share with you one of our important event journey, our pregnancy and delivery in Sydney. Many of you have been asking how it was being pregnant in Australia, how the healthcare system works, whether we had to pay for everything, and what our experience in a public hospital was really like. Today I'll tell you the story from very beginning. And when we arrived to Australia, I was already 5 months pregnant. It was a very emotional time because we had just moved to a new country for us. It was a very emotional time because we had just moved to a completely new country. Everything was unfamiliar. We didn't have family or any friends here. We were still trying to settle into our new life, and at the same time we were preparing to become parents. And one of the biggest challenges was that we didn't have Medicare when we first arrived. And for the first 3 months, we weren't eligible for that, and for private insurance as well. And luckily, before leaving my home country, I had completed all my pregnancy checkups, and I had already done all my blood tests, ultrasounds, and all necessary examinations. So I knew my pregnancy was progressing normally. And because of that, I decided to wait until we became eligible instead of paying thousands dollars for private appointments. And of course, it wasn't an easy decision. Every pregnant woman wants to know that everything is good with her pregnancy, and waiting wasn't easy emotionally. But I knew I had been checked recently, and so I tried to stay positive. So we're already home, and I keep recording my video. And the day we were eligible for Medicare, I booked a GP straight away. And the day we were eligible for Medicare, I booked an appointment to GP and went to the hospital nearby. And the GP referred me to the hospital, and it was my very first visit there. I'll never forget that day because I was pretty nervous. I was very nervous about money that day, and I was worried whether I'd have to pay for appointments, tests, and even delivery. And then some staff in a hospital looked at me and said what I'll never forget. She said, don't think about Medicare and other payments. The only important thing right now is your future baby. And honestly, those words almost made me cry, and I finally became a bit more relaxed. For the first time since I arrived to Australia, I felt someone truly cared about me and my baby. From then on, I was looked looked after amazing team of doctors, midwives, and nurses. And throughout of my pregnancy, I was regularly visited my appointments. Throughout the rest of my pregnancy, I had regular appointments at the hospital. They checked my baby's growth, monitored my health, and answered all of my questions, and always treated me with kindness and respect. And one thing, I was really surprised that how much time they spent listening. I felt never rushed. If I had concerns, they took time to explain everything. That gave me a lot of confidence, especially I was far away from my family. As my due date became closer, we become more and more excited. We were buying tiny baby clothes, setting up our apartments, assembling the cot and pram, and imagining what life would be like with our little girl. Everything suddenly became very real. It's my surgery day. Finally, cesarean surgery, and I'm so glad that it is exactly today, because during maybe the last several nights I feel so strong practice contractions. So I feel that the baby is ready to come out, and I even couldn't fall asleep yesterday, and that's why I especially glad to have my surgery today. So here is Elbrus. Yep, and he's a bit worried today, but I decided to come like not in some dramatic events, but like on holiday, like some celebrations, maybe celebration. Yeah, because it's new step of the life, and so on. Lots of changes, lots of new feelings, and I decided I should have right attitude. And actually, Elbrus's heat likes me. I like Elbrus's heat more than mine, because look at him. He reminds me some doctor or another medical stuff. Just look at him. Yeah, pretty nice. So the midwife told me, oh, it's great. Midwife told me that I'm late, and I'm a bit worried, but no, I'm becoming excited. I'm becoming worried and nervous, because I see that Elbrus is nervous, very nervous, more than me maybe. And when I see him, I become worried as well. I shouldn't see him. Yeah, and maybe I need to turn on some music for my calmness, and just switching on, not switching, just just switch my thoughts. Oh, by the way, I drank this medicine. And to be honest, it wasn't tasty. It was disgusting. I even had to sip just a little of water, because I started to feel my tongue became numb after this medicine. But I had to. It's not my choice. And midwife told me I can use my camera, but I'm not sure one of us, any of us, will be ready to take a video. You know, maybe later. Just look at him. He tried not to show it, but his emotions, but he's too worried. Oh, yeah, I remembered. Yesterday I tried to eat some cactus fruit. Do you know? It's very tasty, but it has lots of needles, and one of needles then just left in my lip. Yeah. I hope it's temporary. Yeah, I just moving myself. Yeah.
When we get up there, we can.
Because
oh,
you can.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I thought you were taking one of me. Like.
No, I would ask if I decided to film you.
Yeah, with the hats on and hats off.
Okay. Yeah, because it's so memorable. And to my surgery, maybe 1 hour. I had a planned cesarean section. Of course, I was worried, but I was so excited because I dreamed to have exactly a cesarean section, not a natural birth. But to be honest, my husband was worried more than me. He was so nervous, definitely more than me. And but I was excited because I already couldn't wait for my baby. I couldn't wait until my baby will be out, because she's kicking me so hard. So I thought if we would wait a bit longer, maybe at least 2 days more, my delivery would ended up a natural birth. So it is 5 p.m. and now I already have this needle, and just wait till the surgery room will be ready, and all the doctors and staff are so nice and pretty, and gentle and so on. I hope I'll manage with it. I see my cheeks became red. Say hi. Okay. And even though I knew what was going to happen, it's impossible to stay calm and not to be excited, expecting to see your baby. The medical team was amazing, was wonderful. They explained me every step before it happens. Everyone stayed calm and smile, and made me feel calm as well. And then suddenly we heard my first daughter sound. She didn't cry. She just made some noise, but it wasn't cry. Yeah. Oh, by the way, the nurse, I remember it very well, because my husband wasn't ready to be right next to me. He was too nervous, and he came when they when they took off the baby. But the nurse supported me during all the process, and she tried to have some conversation with me, some talk with me, and she asked me what food I'd like to eat after my delivery, where would you like, where I'm going to travel in future, and so on. And we had a beautiful conversation, beautiful talk, and I even didn't notice they already finished. I mean, doctors already finished already. Took my babies out. It was amazing. It was so professional work, and I didn't feel any pain. It was amazing experience, and all fears disappeared after my baby was born. And I wasn't very emotional in that moment. I just stopped to worry about the process, because I understood that I realized the doctors are professional, and I just asked them shortly, is my baby healthy? And that's it. And I realized everything is perfect. But my husband was very emotional. And my recovery was pretty easy, I suppose. I took my medication against pain after the surgery, but in several days when I was discharged, the pain wasn't so hard. Only when I was sneezing, maybe I struggled with some pain, abdominal pain, I guess. But totally everything was okay. I was walking because doctors recommended me walk more. It's useful for my stitch. And during my stay in a hospital, I visited some classes for breastfeeding.
Then you need to calm them down a little bit first before they'll be willing to breastfeed. Yeah. All right, let's talk about positions to breastfeed, and that's probably the most important thing. All right, there's a few different positions you can use to breastfeed in. You can do an across the chest position like this. This is a pretty good one for newborns. You can do an underarm hold. That also works quite well for newborns. You can lie down and breastfeed, so you just lie down, your bed, and baby's tucked in next to you like this. This one, I think, a bit trickier in the first few days and very hard to explain how to attach baby, so I'm skipping it. So the more she feeds, long term, the better it's going to be. But yes, it's very difficult, and they're so nocturnal. Once you're at home, Dad doing some settling can really help at night. So you breastfeed, Dad does a nappy change, settles baby. If he gets desperate, he brings baby back to you for a bit more of a feed. All right, to know if baby's getting enough milk, before I even say that, babies do feed really often. That's absolutely normal. So first couple of days, sometimes a bit less, but by the time they're about 48 hours old, most babies are feeding 8 to 12 times every 24 hours. Yeah, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a bit less. I'm more worried about a baby feeding a bit less than one that's feeding a bit more. Feeding a bit more, they're just getting your milk in. But yeah, 8 to 12 times, really normal. So that is often. Yeah, and that's going to last for the first couple of months. So it's going to be a very difficult time, really, really normal. You've got to have naps in a day and things. To know if they're getting enough milk, if they wake up and feed that many times, that's a good sign. Yeah, I'm just going to shout through these babies. That's a really good sign that they're getting enough milk. The other thing to look at is if they're generally happy after feeds, once your milk's in and stuff, that means they're getting enough milk, but that's a bit hard to judge because some babies definitely unsettled with colostrum, that's not uncommon. And sometimes, babies are very moody, so I think you'll overthink that one. But 8 to 12 times feeds, good sign. The other thing to look at is wheeze and poos. Yeah, easy to just write down the numbers, you don't have to think too hard. First 24 hours, one wet nappy is normal, yep, and it might be a tiny one and it might be hidden in a poo. Yeah, one tiny wet nappy, absolutely normal in the first 24 hours because colostrum doesn't have much water. Second 24 hours, 2 wet nappies, or 1 or 2, then 2 or 3, 3 or 4. So the number of wet nappies equals the number of days old, might be one less. And then 5 days old, 4 or 5 wet nappies, and then by 6 or 7 days old, 5 heavy wet nappies a day. Yeah, because the breast milk's got a lot more water in it than colostrum, so they're going to do bigger nappies. Or a wet nappy most feeds because they're going to feed at least 8 times. Yeah. With the poos, you want to see at least 1 poo a day for the early months. They might do a lot more than 1. They start off doing sticky black poos, which are really hard to clean, and then they get to sort of runny black, and then kind of dark green, then a browny colour, sometimes light green, mustard yellow. Basically, you want them to change from sticky to runny, and then start getting lighter, and mustard yellow by the time they're about 5 days old. Yeah, though we do confuse you because we call day 1 the day they're born, so it'd be day 6 or 5 days old. It might be earlier, that's absolutely fine. So at least 1 poo a day. Yeah, so the important thing to remember is not many wet nappies in the early days, and then at least 1 poo a day for the first 3 months, and 5 heavy wet nappies a day. Yeah, once your milk's kind of in for a few days. Yeah, does that make sense?
And looking back now, I'm so grateful about what we received in Australia. Today's our discharging day, and I'm ready to go home, and I look forward when the baby finally will arrive at home as well, because we waited for her so long time during all my pregnancy. And this bouquet, of course, from my albums, and she left a note. I love you and thank you for my beautiful daughter. Look at this. So we and our baby, we replaced her her clothes, and she's today she has some holiday dress. Maybe I'll show you a bit later. The doctors, midwives, nurses made the most important moments in our lives. In that moment, they made us feel calm and safe and supported. I know that every pregnancy and every birth is different, and it was simply our experience. But for us, giving birth in Sydney became the most beautiful experience which we had here. If you're pregnant in Australia or planning to move here being pregnant, or just curious how it can be, I hope our story make you feel yourself more prepared. If you have any questions about pregnancy, birth, Medicare, or something like that, please leave it below in the comments. I'd be happy to share more about our experience. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and join us as we continue sharing our life here in Australia. And see you in the next video. Bye!